Either you work hard for it or you don't work hard for it. Well, me and my brother, we work hard for our stuff. It don't come easy. In life, you have to work. Either you want to be the shark of the ocean or the fish of the ocean. And right now, we want to be the shark. Take over everything. Strength, no weakness. Power, the muscle. You have to have that mindset. So you're going to come in here and dominate. When you say, oh, no. Don't put yourself down. Motivate yourself. Keep yourself up, pumped, and ready for any challenge. Either you work hard for it or you don't work hard for it. Well, me and my brother, we work hard for our stuff. It don't come easy. In life, you have to work. Either you want to be the shark of the ocean or the fish of the ocean. And right now, we want to be the shark. Take over everything. Strength, no weakness. Power, the muscle. You have to have that mindset. So you're going to come in here and dominate. When you say, oh, no. Don't put yourself down. Motivate yourself. Keep yourself up, pumped, and ready for any challenge. Either you work hard for it or you don't work hard for it. Well, me and my brother, we work hard for our stuff. It don't come easy. In life, you have to work. Either you want to be the shark of the ocean or the fish of the ocean. And right now, we want to be the shark. Take over everything. Strength, no weakness. Power, the muscle. You have to have that mindset. So you're going to come in here and dominate. When you say, oh, no. Don't put yourself down. Motivate yourself. Keep yourself up, pumped, and ready for any challenge.
I'm going to be honest enough to tell you that I'm worried about America. Yeah. I'm worried about our nation because it's sick with racism still. Just think about the fact that we live in a nation which was founded on the principle that all men are created equal. And yet men are still arguing over whether the color of a man's skin determines the content of his character. And I believe that the Lord told me to say to the United States of America that is sick with militarism and is sick with excessive materialism. Have you ever thought about it? There are between 38 and 50 million people in the United States of America who are poverty-stricken, making income less than the poverty level. And yet, this is the richest nation in the history of the world. Our national gross product this year will go beyond $800 billion. And yet, there are between 38 and 50 million people who are poverty-stricken. Now, something wrong. A lot of people are afraid to say it. But I don't mind saying it. You see, somebody said to me the other night, don't you think, Dr. King, you are going to have to start speaking more in terms of the administration's policy? Because since you started talking against the war in Vietnam, it's hurt the budget of your organization, and people who once respected you don't respect you anymore. And I had to look over and say, sir, I'm sorry, but you don't know me. I'm not a consensus leader. I don't determine what is right and wrong by looking at the budget of my organization, and I don't determine what is right and wrong by taking a Gallup poll of the majority opinion. And so, because there's something wrong, our struggle must continue. And what we must see is that our nation's summers of riots are caused by our nation's winters of delay.
Ready for revolution. Y'all unmute their mics and love on each other. Who we got out there? Welcome, 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 welcome. And also welcome YouTube audience. Let's go, folks. Unmute the mic to let us know who's out here.
Patty from Oklahoma.
Hey, Sister Patty.
Rosalie
Tahira,
Ramsey,
Georgia.
Louisiana.
Hey, Louisiana, Rosalie.
Hello from Macedonia. It's Nick over here.
Macedonia, brother Nick in the takeover. Welcome, welcome. Who all we got?
Vincent Muhammad, Queens, New York.
Hey, brother Vincent, New York, New York. So nice they named it twice. Who else we got, folks?
Hello, hello. Good evening.
Hello, Sister Rose.
How are you?
I'm Rich from the Cayman Islands. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Folks, we have people
Keith Holland Muhammad.
That's right. Atlanta, Georgia, brother Keith. So, folks, we have people chiming in, and they'll be jumping on the different platforms. We have Macedonia here with my business partner, brother Nick. We have Moses and in Uganda. We have Sister in the Cayman Islands, and we have Sister Rose, and we have so many people from around the U.S.
Brooklyn
and
in the
it
house.
will grow.
Pablo
Alistair
from New
from
York.
Barbados, home of the Flying Fish.
Brooklyn.
Pablo, New York.
Yes.
All right. Brooklyn's in the house. All right, folks. I want to thank you all for the time and attention. You could have been anywhere else on the planet, and you chose to be here with us this evening. For those who don't know me, I'm Brother Eric Ture Muhammad. I'm known as the Wealth Minister because this is my ministry, folks. This is what I do. This is what I encourage. And I'm going to give you a little backdrop behind what we do. If you see the screen, you know that Team Believe, we believe in developing multiple sources of income. Our discussion centers around keeping the main thing the main thing. Now, I showed you two clips. We opened up with two young brothers, and the brother talking about going hard, going in the paint. Got to be determined, got to be focused. You don't let anything get in your way, whether you're going to be a shark or just merely a fish. It was a great, great, great add-on. And then you heard from Dr. King, and he talked about his worry for America, which is a societal worry. It's not just America, folks, but globally, we have the same systemic problems. Okay? So today, keeping the main thing is related to number one, finding that pathway by which you can live the life and lifestyle of your dreams. You see, because it all starts with a dream. My mentor for life, Dr. Tyrone Best, was the first to introduce that to me. And in introducing it, he also showed the steps on how to protect it, defend it, grow it, manifest it into reality. Okay. So in Team Believe, just to give you a backdrop, I personally came from a space where I did not have multiple sources of income. I had many streams of income inside of one opportunity that yielded me thousands, tens of thousands a month. I built $1 million business in 9 days when I first came into the wealth building space. And there was still a whole lot to learn and even more to incorporate. Now, I learned a lot, but I did not incorporate. So I want to explain to you or help you to understand what evaluated experience is. I heard one of our great leaders, Mr. Greg Baldwin, this afternoon, and he talked about how experience is taught that experience is the best teacher. He said that's a lie. It's evaluated experience that's the best teacher. So I want to share with you from my evaluated experience after having millions, losing millions, and on a rebuild now. See, that evaluated experience was I was spoiled, folks. The money was coming so fast, so strong. Families didn't need for anything. I didn't have any particular needs. I would always share out, I was charitable. Okay. The money was coming so fast, it really snuck up on me. And then that one stream, or that one source rather, of multiple streams of income came to a grinding halt. Now, I want to explain to you what that looks like. You're riding high for 6 months, a year. You can't even count the value of what we have, which is the true sign of riches. See, if you can tell me how much you have in your pocket, if you can tell me how much is in your account, you don't have enough. You don't have enough. So in a society where we're dependent on a valueless dollar, in a society when we don't understand the true value of assets, and in a society where we don't recognize or aren't willing to recognize the time and what must be done with the growth of demographics, the growth of technology, the change of money systems, when we choose to not recognize these things that are happening anyway, then it positions you to either, number one, either be a victor of these things that are burgeoning and happening all over the world, or to be a victim by refusing to pay attention to the time in which you have been spared to live. So multiple sources of income became the solution, because I was like that movie 8 Mile, no, Green Mile, Green Mile, when they were walking the prisoner to the death chamber. That's how I felt when I was walking to the bank to pull out the last or the reserve of income that I promised myself I would not touch, but now I had to pay the tuitions for my children's education. Because prior to then, there was no issue, because I'm making the tens and thousands to do that. But now that is no longer available to me. Now, I was fine in December of 2023. December of 2023, my family and I, we were outside the continental U.S. We didn't know that there was a stop to it. I had a card that you can withdraw $20,000 on a day. We were there. My family, my in-laws, all of us were together for the month of December. On the return, I was still okay. January came in, we were rolling. February came in, we were still enjoying the residuals that we had earned. But when March came in, that's where true March madness occurred. Because March came in, tuitions were due. We were in spring semesters. Everybody was due at the same time. The care for my brother, who had 7-day-a-week care, my eldest brother, so all these things that were factored on the economy that I had control over under my own roof, it turned out I didn't truly have the control that I assumed. So now I'm walking to the bank to withdraw this money, and all I could hear in my head was dead man walking. I was going to the chamber, folks. So I learned and promised myself as a community leader, I will only seek out, sort, vet, due diligence upon those things that create multiple sources of income that allow us to keep the main thing. And what is the main thing? We're going to delve into that a little bit, because instead of giving you 10,000 slides, which I'm good for, I'll give you all the graphics and all the bells and whistles. I just want us to think. And I just want us, in the few short moments that we have together, I want you to take note. And I want us to evaluate. And how we best evaluate, I got to give a shout out to Brother Kevin 2X Thompson. Almost a year ago, I heard him say, actually a little more than a year ago, I heard him say, look at where you are and look at how far you've come. Now, why is that important? Because you can wallow in your circumstance. You can look at where you are and feel stuck and don't envision anything else, feel like you're failing or something has failed you. But when you look at where you are and then juxtapose it against how far you've come, oh boy, then you have something to celebrate and be grateful over. But he didn't say it for that. He said, look at where you are right now and how far you have come, and look at it with notepad and pen and write down the things that you could have done better. What could you have done differently? What can you do differently to create the reality that you must have. And my difference was in the power of keeping the main thing, create multiple sources of income for the world. Folks, there are a lot of great opportunities out here in the spaces that have been revealed. Okay, you have the technology space, you have the cryptocurrency market space. Some of you are in mutual funds, stocks and bonds, and all that kind of stuff, and that has evolved to embrace artificial intelligence, where you don't have to do all the trading and whatnot. Right? There's so many great opportunities out here, but we need to evaluate. So I want to look at the first point. The first point on the screen is the future. What does your future look like? I want you to write that down. I want you to type it in the comments. I want you to type it in the chat. Those of you who are on our Zoom platform and those in YouTube, just the future. What does your future look like? See, because if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. What kind of future do you see for yourself? This is something that generally the populace, the majority of the world, doesn't really consider, particularly in the Western Hemisphere. The biggest issue for the West, do you know that studies have proven that we spend more time trying to figure out what a 2-week vacation will look like as opposed to figuring out a free future? What does your future look like? Many of us do not see value in ourselves, enough value in ourselves, where we will determine what that could be. So, how do you see yourself in the future? Well, first and foremost, what are the tenets of it? Number one, you got to have a future you seek. There's a saying that is now becoming popularized because, well, by me anyway, I'm not all that, but there's a saying that I've coined. It says, you can't be who you can't see. You cannot be the person for the future if you can't see that person in your mind. So it requires a focused idea. What is it to dream, folks? Benjamin Franklin is quoted as saying that we as a people, we live until we're 18 and we die at 65. We're buried at 65. Live till we're 18, buried at 65. What does that mean? If we're living only up to 18, what happens between that time and 65? It's the embracing of the conditioning, the training, and the programming that we have adopted. So our lives don't get realized. Our lifestyles personally don't get realized. The hope we have for the future is limited because we're only doing what everybody else is doing. Dr. Tyrone Best taught me, he said, if you want to be, well, he didn't say if, he asked me first. He said, do you want to be free? I said, absolutely, sir. He said, do you want to be rich? I said, I do. Do you want to be wealthy? I said, absolutely. He said, do you want to be free? Do you want to know what freedom is like? I said, yes, sir. He said, well, do these things and you'll be flat out rich. He said, look at what everyone else is doing and then do the opposite. And you'll be flat out rich. I'm like, wow. To lend to Ben Franklin's point, that bore witness to his point. You see, we're programmed in society to work and pay bills. But what do you mean? If you were to ask anybody right now why they have a job, majority of them will tell you, man, I got to pay my bills. To pay my bills. So you can't see a future for yourself because you pigeonhole yourself into the conditioning of only making money to pay bills. Now, the bill pay is a strategy of society to make sure that the society functions. This is why when you say things like pyramid, just look at the United States, just look at your government, just look at your school institutions. Heck, just look at the health chart of the medical field. All of it is pyramidal, where everything's at the top and it flows out at the bottom, and all at the bottom serve as the benefit or the residual income for the passive income of the top. Traditionally, that's what that has been. Your workforce, the job. I've had jobs. Okay. I had jobs, but now I'm psychologically unemployable because I understand what the true tenets of wealth are. The three freedoms that I must have. The three freedoms you must have, folks. The three freedoms you must have. You might want to write it down, put in the comment, put in the chat. The three freedoms you must have is time freedom, location freedom, and financial freedom. Those three components create wealth. They create wealth. So what does your future look like? Well, it's only going to look like what you plan for. Now, I'm going to share another element from my sponsor for life, and this time is proven true. Dr. Tyrone Best, he transitioned soon to be 3 years this month. You know what he said? He said, the future, folks, belongs to those who are willing to learn, who are willing to change, and who are willing to adapt. Now, to show you the flow and how powerful that flow is, if you are one who's looking to learn, I want to show you how it rewards you. Everyone, type in the spelling of learn. Type it in your chat, type it in your comments, YouTube. Type learn. How's it spelled? How's it spelled? That's right. Learn. That spells learn. Okay. When you're willing to learn, take the L off of learn, and now what does it spell? Type it in the chat, type it in your comments. That's right, finest. Earn. Earn. Hey, Ricky. Earn. 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 When you're willing to learn, you're willing to earn. And there's not a revealed religion on the planet that does not give you a book that explains that notion. Evaluated experience now. What does your future look like? Are you willing to learn? See, because that's where the education comes in to help you dive in or toward the future you seek. Our imagination, Einstein said, Albert Einstein, he's quoted as saying, imagination is the preview of coming attractions. Imagination. Now think about this between the ages of birth to 18. How many of you had dreams? I want to be a ballerina. I want to be a fireman. I want to be a football player. I want to be a policeman. I want to be this. I want to be that. Those dreams come to the mind of the innocent, the mind of a people who see a world to take advantage of. Babies will always see a world to take advantage of. Why? Because they're born into a world of abundance. All of us are. So how do we get there? I have it as a point number 4 in here, but to be young again, to take action. Let me tell you this. For you folks that are older now and trying to reflect on those days of when you dreamt futures. I'm gonna say this right up front and come back to it when we get to that point. Right now, you need to know that you will never be as young as you are right now. You will never be as young as you are right now. You've done some things yesterday, right, wrong, or indifferent, but guess what? Yesterday's gone. That was then. Tomorrow, you'll be older than right now. So we encourage everybody to take action behind the things that we're saying, that which you pick up, that we put down, that which you feel is applicable to your life. Take action now, make decisions now, because you're in the new, you're in the now when you do it. Sometimes you want to realize the future. Sometimes you have to go, G-O, to grow, G-R-O-W. All right, what does the future look like? And then I want us to look at the need for evaluated opportunities, how to evaluate opportunities. Some of you operate in direct sales space. Some of you operate out of employment. Some of you have different careers you manage. Some of you have your own businesses. Some of you in multi-level marketing. Some of you in networking. Some of you in relationship building or affiliate marketing and all that kind of stuff. This is not an opportunity meeting, but let me share this with you. Let me share this with you. There are 4 components that my teacher taught me that must, well, 3 actually, that must be measured when you're looking at opportunities for yourselves. Number 1, is the opportunity capitalized? Everybody just type in the chat, C for capitalized. The business or the opportunity that you're vetting or the one you're looking to create must be heavily capitalized. Why? Because it fuels everything else. So C for heavily capitalized, right? I for innovative. It must be able to create the future you seek, right? So when you evaluate these opportunities, you say, wow, that has all the bells and whistles. It's nice. Look at the graphics. Oh my God, look at the landscape. Hey, check out the furniture in this building. Okay. All right, all those dazzle the eye. Those are carrots. Those are carrots. Okay. So you have to be heavy capitalized to do what? To be innovative. I stands for innovation, innovative. See, why is that important? There are things that we look to do today as a result of what was yesterday. And as a result, yesterday is gone and it's not as conducive, relative, or profitable today. How many of you know when you're dealing with cash, you're dealing with old money? Okay, what is old money? I don't mean old like solid or sound. I mean old where it operated in a time that it was created for. When the industrial age came along, it was the building of the world. Infrastructures were created, automobiles, planes, trains, right? Factory work to produce those elements, those things. And everybody can operate off of the one income in a household. That was big. That was huge. Because when you work with money in the age that it's created for, it goes further. If you're a part of that age, it goes further. I don't mean having a history lesson. You knew who Henry Ford was. You knew who Andrew Carnegie was. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about actually living in the age where those things took place. Where the Schwabs of the world, it took place. Where the Carnegies of the world took place. Where the Fords of the world, where it took place. Right? When you look at these giant juggernaut forerunners of industry. They created everything from transportation to the tools. I learned just the other day on the huddle that we do. I didn't know that Jack Johnson, the dynamic and first black champion of boxing, I didn't know he was the inventor of the wrench. Tools. The wrench. It was invented by Jack Johnson, the boxer. Go figure. Now, the point is, the industry, the industrial age, created a main thing and spawned out thousands of inventions. And I mean, the light bulb came in that time. Windows in New York didn't appear in New York until 1910 on buildings. Think about this kind of thing. So but when you live in that age, the money is flowing. The ecosystem of the time is benefiting everybody as a part of it. So in that age and in that time it was created for, all the citizens can work off of one income to a household. They didn't have to worry about their home, whether the mortgage could be met, because there was no mortgage. I mean, these kind of things were happening, right? Your money went further. Everything was an inheritable asset. So one man can be working today, he transitioned, but his family still has the house. His family still has the vehicles. His family still has the life savings, right? And the savings then are massive because you're working in the age that the money was created for. What age do you live in right now? This is how you evaluate opportunities. C for heavily capitalization, I for innovative, so that you can pivot and maneuver on the dime, right? And then the last thing, it has to pay on time. Boy, that's big. It has to pay on time. That's how you evaluate opportunities. I'm going to come back to the age in a second. This is how you evaluate opportunities, folks. You got to look at not their compensation, you got to look at their capitalization. What is their war chest? How do you determine their valuation? Now, this is business one-on-one. You got people that go into business, they look to do mergers, they look to acquire companies. They want to know the valuation of the person, not eval, but the valuation, the monetary value of the business. Because that determines whether or not they're willing to take it on. Another discussion, another time. All right? So now, they have to be able to pay on time. Now, these are principles that society follows when they hire us, employ us. I know some of you will say, man, I can't stand my job. Well, why do you say that? You didn't say that when you got hired. I was happy to get it because I needed some money. I needed to pay some bills. But why now can you stand it? Can you not stand it? Because it's not paying me enough. It does not value my worth. Note to self, folks, the job didn't hire you for your worth or your self-worth. The employer hired you for a need that they have and what you were willing to take based upon what they were willing to pay. It had nothing to do with you. And the majority of us coming at the end of that age, that industrial age, we came along now and we just took whatever job it was available. And we lied, yes, I can do it for $7 an hour. Yes, I can do it for $10 an hour. Yes, I can do it for $10,000 a month. Yes, I can do it. Because you saw your needs, you sought to meet your needs, but you never really equated what that will turn out to financially. There's another point in it. Dear brother and friend that I knew when I was living in Washington, D.C. He was a postal worker. He worked the post office 31 years, and now he retired, and he was going to go see the world on the money he saved. Now he had a pension, all that stuff coming, right? He saved $500,000, $500,000. He and his wife was saving that for when he retired. She had already retired, and he was now retiring after 31 years. 30 years, any place in America, working one place, and you save $500,000. Boy, that is commendable. Okay, it's $500,000. That ain't no money today. And you compare it to yesterday, but still money. $500,000. The brother told me his wife had died in year 30. So they never got to do that one thing they intended to do, which was take a trip around the world. They wanted to visit the world. So lo and behold, he comes across me on the street. He just finished delivering mail to my office there in Washington, and we walk up on each other, and I say, "Hey, brother, how you doing?" He said, "Hey, man, this is my last month. Um, I just left. I just got cleared. I just did my physical, man, and I'm the bill of health." I said, "Praise be to Allah. Wonderful." I said, "What are your plans now that you're about to retire?" He said, "Well, I couldn't do it with my wife, but I'm going to carry, get this, he was going to carry the urn of her remains, and he was going to take it around the world." I was like, wow, is that beautiful? What a tribute. He said, "Yep, and I got the money to do it." He said, "I'm retiring on $500,000. I said, "Wow. So you're retiring, so every month you'll see $500,000? He said, "No, man. I get $500,000 once my retirement goes through." Now, I had a bad habit growing up where I would just think out loud, you know? I remember getting beat down from one of the largest women that I'd ever seen in my life. I was a child. I was in my teens. I think I was 14 or 15. Lou might know, he's here, you know, and because we were together. Now, I'm riding the city bus, and I had never seen anybody at that point where when they sat down, it took up more than one seat. And I was standing over her, holding on to the little strap to keep my space on the bus because I'm standing. And I moved over, she sat down, and I just watched the physique spread across these seats. And out of my mouth, I said what I thought. I said, "Wow, she's fat." I didn't know it came out my mouth. You know what she said? She looked up at me. She said, "You know what else I am?" I was like, "Uh-oh." I said, "Man, I'm sorry." She said, "No, you know what else I am?" She said, quick on her feet. She stomped on my foot. She pushed me in the chest. I fell over onto the floor, and she went on to beat the spit out of me until I got beaten off the bus. The back doors opened up. There's a city bus. Back door opened up. People just laughing and carrying on. I get knocked off the bus. I'm looking up to about, "You're lucky I got off the bus." Go. So, anyway, I just share that because I live to tell it. Now, here we are. I'm talking to brother, and I'm thinking out loud again. He talked about $500,000. I said, "So you gonna get $500,000 a month?" He said, "No, man. I'm gonna get $500,000 one time, uh, as my pension is you know done." I said, "You're gonna travel the world?" He said, "Yeah." And out of my mouth, I said, "That ain't no money." Boy, did he get upset. He said, "No money? Do you have $500,000?" I said, "No, I don't." He said, "Well, I got $500,000." And he started going up. No, no, no. I'm just thinking. I'm just thinking. I don't mean it's not money. I don't mean it wasn't earned. But if you're getting it one time, there are 12 months in a year. That's $40,000 a month. I don't know how much your trip is going to cost, but that's 40. I think I told him like $41,000 a month, right? Okay, folks, that's 10,000. That breaks down to 10,000 a week. Okay, wonderful. But where will the money go? Because if you're not working anywhere, he still had a house note. He still had cars to pay for. He had obligations, and now he was in his 60s. Now, no, no, no. Understand that average age expectation, as he cussed me out and went on about his business. You understand? He was 60, and he accumulated that amount of money. But now the average age life expectancy of men now was 85. So he had 25 more years to go on $500,000. So you see why that only works out to $20,000 a month. You know, at that age you have doctors and you can't afford the bills now, right? All right. You have your eyes don't work the way they used to. Your nose, your ears, your feet, your back, your knees. Look, he was 60, but his knees combined was 120. So there had to be some service considered. So I'm thinking about, you got to eat, right? You got to go to the pharmacist for your items or things. I'm not saying that he wasn't innovative where he could do other things and make that money grow, but that was only $20,000 a year over the next 25 years. So how do you survive when you needed more than that while you were working? Most people worked in the industrial age 20, 30, 40 years. Many of us as baby boomers came at the end of that age, and we worked 40 years for 40 hours a week, earning less than 40% of what we were actively earning when we retired. And we couldn't survive on what we were earning actively. Note to self, I know you think taking on another job would help any situation, but I'm here to tell you, 2 jobs are for 2 people. You're one person, and how you take advantage of the time and what must be done, you have to operate with the money and the age in the age that it was created for. All right, so the industrial age, we beat that down pretty good. What age are we in right now? Take a stab at it. Those who think you have an idea, just put in the chat, put in your comments there in YouTube. What age do you think we're in right now? Come on, talk back. Beautiful. Digital, digital. I see a lot of digitals out there. Yep, yep. We're in a digital age. You see this? This is the phone. Do you know this phone represents a $4.6 trillion industry? Why? That's right, brother Ricky, computer. Why? Because it's representing it's representing the wallet space, the digital wallet space. You don't go to the banks, the buildings like you used to. You don't go to utility companies, the physical building anymore. That's right, Pastor Pam, blockchain technology and AI, artificial intelligence. This is the age. You don't go to these physical buildings anymore to pay your bills. When you pay your bills, you do it on your phone, don't you? Or on your computer. You do it online. That's all digital. That's all digital. These wallets, these phones are the wallets by which you can do just that and never have to see those physical buildings again. So you're in an age now where click and order, as opposed to brick and mortar, is the order of the day. Platform technology. That's right, fintech and AI, information digital age, y'all getting it? Platforms are the wave or the rage of opportunity. Platforms. Uber, Lyft, they don't own one single car, but they've obliterated the taxi industry globally. Globally, you're no longer fighting for cabs. You're not being profiled for fares. The taxi industry has been obliterated, reduced to a nub, something that we never even considered going away. Because where we were in an age where we were taught never to pick up hitchhikers. Now we never pick up strangers. Now we're doing it all with the phone, ordering the service that we desire, right? How many of you are familiar with Airbnb or verbal? How many of you are familiar with these spaces that allow you to rent rooms and homes and vacation spaces, and they don't own any of them? Airbnb does not own these homes and rooms that you use them to broker for as a middle person. You pick up your phone again, you access a platform, and you get your stay arranged. What has happened to the hospitality industry as a result? The hospitality industry is suffering because they don't have the clientele to keep up the revenue stream. So now they have to partner with Airbnb. They have to partner with Vrbo. Why? Because now they have to make their rooms available through a platform that will help them to see a revenue. We're talking about the obliteration. We're talking about the disruption of traditional industry. Don't you think the same disruption is related to your money? Related the same way. There are many people who used, in America, they have what's called Valentine's Day. It occurred yesterday, February 14th. And there are people who traditionally would go out and get flowers for their significant other and take them to dinner or go to a movie and that kind of stuff, things rather. My daughter went to a movie with her friend, and they went to a movie on that day because they got a discount for it. They go, they check it out, fine. But majority of people aren't going to movies anymore. What has disrupted that? Platforms like YouTube, platforms like Netflix, right? All these platforms. You see movie companies moving to the digital space platforms and making it available to you in packages for yourself, your family, individuals, companies, right? Respecting the age that is created for is essential in your evaluation of opportunities. You're in the age, folks, of total disruption. Money functions the same way. The difference here, in terms of those things happening, is your willingness to embrace it through awareness. Awareness. These things are happening hidden in plain sight. They're happening right now. How do you take advantage of the opportunity in the life of the opportunity? By embracing it. So there are things that we venture out to do in this space. And in this space, we find a lot of good projects and we find some lemons, some bad ones, right? But what does that do for you? There's some of us who will look at that project and you will not give your friend the time of day, your friend now, the time of day, who was with you in that project. The project failed. That means it failed. That project failed you, but it also failed your friend. But now you won't give your friend the time of day to introduce another one to you because you blame that friend, him or her, for what the failure was, where they had nothing to do with it. They were victim just as you. What are failures designed to do? They're designed to grow you. Failures are stepping stones to continue this journey known as life, because life be lifing. Right? It won't be much longer. You see? So here you are throwing out the baby with the bathwater. Well, the opportunity was bad. It went sour, went south. They packed up their bat, ball, and glove and left with your money. Well, that's the dirty part of the water. But the baby is the life that you embraced as a relationship that brought you the opportunity. Don't throw that man or woman away because of what you experienced. They experienced it too. But how can you put your minds together? How can you collaborate to find the right opportunities? Clearly, you knew that it wasn't in the job. Clearly, you knew that it wasn't supplemental incomes. Clearly you knew that you needed more and needed a leg up. How to evaluate opportunities? I talked about that But along with that are relationships. How do you evaluate the relationship? Folks, you do it through trust. You do it through trust. There's a couple of books that I read. I read a lot of books. And this book, uh, Speed of Trust, it's an older book. He's gone now. Stephen Covey. This book helped you to understand the power of the trust factor. That's also built into this new age with the digital age. You have blockchain technology out here. That blockchain technology operates on a level of trust, transparency, unlike anything we've ever seen. Smart contracts are put on those opportunities, on those blockchains, so that it functions as advertised. Whatever's coded into that smart contract, when it goes there, anybody that embraces a business or an opportunity tied to the contract, it will only dictate what the contract is coded to do. So your blockchain technology is something you shouldn't be afraid of. You should embrace it. You should learn it. You should understand it. Once upon a time, blockchain was only financial. It was a financial transaction platform. That's all. Your banks operate on blockchain. Your stores operate on blockchain. Your businesses or industries, when they turn over money, they operate on a blockchain, and it's all digital. Your direct deposits run through banks, and those banks run it through blockchain. That's how you get it. A financial transaction platform. But now it's much more than that. The blockchain is life, folks, in this new age. It will handle your medical records. It will handle your criminal records. It will handle everything and make the society truly paperless. You thought it was only utilities that say, hey, or banks, you want a paperless society? Click here and we'll just give you your statements online. No, that's with everything. So understand the opportunities in front. Don't be a victim, be a victor of it. Embrace it little by little. Bite off what you can chew. And then I want us to go to decisions you make. Decisions you make lead to the life you will live. Decisions you make will lead to the life you will live. It's all about choice, folks, but many of us live a life of chance. And we don't realize any power there. That's where limited belief has really kicked in and it's in full gear. You got to be hungry. You got to be angry to make decisions. That means they're rooted in emotions. Your decision making is always emotional. How you maintain it, that's where the logic comes. All right? It's always emotional. You got to be so fed up. I was driving to work. I was working in the hotel industry. I was director of food and beverage. I had my own parking spot because I was an employee of the month. And they took a piece of cardboard off of a crate and they wrote on there, congratulations, Eric Ture Muhammad. They spelled my name correct too. And they put it over the sign that just said authorized parking. So that was my badge of honor, right? And I'm pulling up to this bad boy every month, every other month or so. And I'm pulling up, but now I'm taking evaluation of, is it worth it? What am I doing this for? What do I want? Because in hospitality, you had perks and benefits. I worked for 3 major chains, 2 at the same time at one point, but I had perks. I can stay anywhere in the world in any space for $35 a night. I have a wife, 10 children, 6 grandchildren, a great grand. So that was accommodating, right? Okay. But was that the only perk? Because as they got older and went on, and as we got older, we didn't travel as much. So was it, why am I still here? And I was contemplating this driving to work this particular day. My dry cleaning was done. I could even sneak in my wife's uniforms and dresses every now and again. So I didn't have any issues with the cleaning of the clothes. What else is perk? What's the other perk? See, and the reason why I was made to wait is, folks, because I was tired, I was growing resentful, and then eventually I got angry. Check this out. I'm on salary. On the books at that time was 72,000 a year. That was no money. That's why I had to take on a couple more jobs because Sam got that first. Uncle Sam and Mother FICA. Okay, so now they're getting theirs. All these deductions are coming out for insurances and all that kind of stuff. And I'm driving into work, don't want to be there because now I'm working 90 hours a week on salary. So just like the gentleman who was the postman, oh, I didn't finish telling you. That same day that we talked, and I did apologize to him, the same day that he talked, he went to the parking lot to go home from the doctor's. Do you know he had a heart attack and died that day? He never got a chance to do what he intended. And you know what else died? The money. Because with certain plans, you have nobody you can leave it with. Maybe I'll be pleased with him. But okay, I'm working these jobs. It looks good on paper, but I'm earning 90 hours a week. So you take I'm working 90 hours a week. So you take that 90 hours a week and divide it into the weekly, Brother Ricky. You know, I ain't made no money. I'm back down to minimum wage, actually below minimum wage when you factor it in. When I left home, my wife and children were asleep. When I returned home, my wife and children were asleep. So I don't know what's going on in the household. I don't know what kind of life they're living. I don't know what I can help my son through as he's in his teens now and he wants to talk over some things. I don't know the men who are coming into my daughter's lives. Why? Because I'm not there. How many of you sit up on the side of the bed right now and just hold your head and like, I can't believe I got to go in today? That's a weekly thing, right? So you have to position yourself with realistic evaluation. When I walked into that space, the last day that I was working, on the same drive when I was figuring all this stuff out, I walk in, I have to go by security. You go to security, get your little jailer keys. That's what I call them because at the time you had a bunch of key rings that you put on your waist and you unlocked all the doors for the different venues inside the property that you were in charge of in that shift. So I go to stop, and brother's name was Nate. Hey, Nate, how you doing, man? Great, man. How's your wife? I haven't seen her lately. Oh, she's around. I said, Nate, how long you been working here? And he said it with pride, 18 years. He said, this is where I met my wife. He said, this is my first job. I said, well, and his wife worked on the property too. So I said, have you ever done any other kind of work? No. Have you ever looked to do anything different? Nope. We just figure out our vacations, going about our business. So this conversation was depressing me. But I say cordial. I leave him, grab all my stuff. I'm heading to my office or their office. They allowed me to occupy in the shift. And the HR woman came out, human resources. She said, oh, Eric, you got here just before I left. Great. Listen, we need to do your evaluation now because we have a deadline. I said, evaluation? Yeah, we need to determine what kind of raise you're going to receive based off of your activity over the year. I said, well, let me put my stuff down. I'll come back. And I did that. And I know this might be boring you, but understand the mindset of where the rage came in. She's in there with another gentleman who's shadowing her as she does this evaluation of me. She opened up the file. The file, folks, was about that thick. And she opened it up. I don't know what's in there. I don't even care. And she says, wow, do you know you have not missed one day of work this past year? You haven't missed one day of work since your last evaluation. And I'm like, I'm doing 90 hours a week. You think I'm happy over that? So in my mind, that's how I processed. And then I just dismissed it. Just like that. It was like I wasn't even in the room. I'm thinking about the temperature in other islands, brother. Nick, I might be thinking about what the temperature was in Macedonia. So then she wakes me up. She's talking, and I totally tuned her out. And she said, Eric. I said, oh, I'm sorry, Missy. I'm sorry. I was a little distracted. She said, do you hear anything that I'm saying? I didn't even get to the point that she was going to give me 40 cents or 25. I don't know what the hell it was, but I know I was worth more than that. So now I'm angry as all get out. Okay. She says, it's like you're not even here. When she said that, folks, That's when it happened. I took those jailer keys and I sat them on the desk. She said, "What are you doing?" And I took off the branding iron. That's the name tag. I took that off and sat it on top of the keys. And I just started pushing it towards her, and she backed up like I had COVID or something. She said, "What are you doing?" And the gentleman who I don't know who he was to this day, he said, "Hey, you need to pick those up." I said, "No, I need to put them down." I said, "Look, there's probably several people that I could recommend to do the job that I have. I had a wonderful tenure here, and I think there's a lot of good people here who want to grow in this space. So I'm done. But what I will do, I'll stick around a couple of weeks and help you find those people and do the training of them so it'll shorten the curve." She said, "You can't do that." I looked at her. No, I'm sorry. But in my mind, I said, "Heifer." So yes, I can. She said, "No, no, no, no. You don't understand." She said, it's it's only 3 o'clock, no, 6 o'clock. I said, "Wow. That means when I get home, everybody will be awake. So now I'm wide open." I said, "Thank you for sharing that." She said, "No, no, my point is, who's going to work the shift?" I said, "You kidding me? God forbid, but I told her, if I fell dead in here today, you might feel a certain kind of way about it. But guess what? Y'all will find somebody to work that damn shift." So now I was totally done. In fact, I wasn't even going to stay for the 2 weeks. And I didn't. I said, "Yo, I'm out of here. But thank you anyway. If you have any questions, just call me." And I was gone. That was it. I made a decision. Now I had to stand by it because everybody, the only person that knew were the people that were in that room. But now I got to explain it to my wife. I just reduced our two-income household to one, and it was hers. So it had to work. Decisions you make lead to the life you will live. That was $1 million+ ago. Okay, move to the next point, and we out of here. To be young again is to take action. You'll never be younger than you are now, folks, right now. And you have to recognize the age of value. What is the age of value? The time in which you're living right now. That's the age of value because that's what counts. Sometimes you have to go to grow. I don't necessarily mean leave at this point. I mean take action at this point. Brother Keith Hollins Muhammad drives the point home. He says, take advantage of the opportunity in the life of the opportunity. So many of us come after the thrill is gone. You see? Take advantage now because today you're younger than you'll ever be. Tomorrow you'll be older. You take advantage now, and tomorrow's not guaranteed. Take the action now through knowing what you want your future to look like, knowing how to evaluate your circumstances and activities. Build with your teams, build with people, talk with each other. Hey, talk with me, right? Let my failures be your success. Okay? Make the decision to live the life you want to live and be young again. The last point is the most critical. I need to thank Brother Mike Johnson for this. Shout out to Mike Johnson, the numbers gentleman. He taught me when I didn't know backside from elbow. He said, "Brother Eric, everybody manages to a number. What you lack in experience, you'll make up for in numbers." Now, that man had made thousandaires, millionaires, and made millionaires, multimillionaires, and a few select multimillionaires. He made billionaires. So I'm going to listen to him. Check this out. Everybody manages to a number, folks. You have an alarm clock, tells you what time you need to get up when you set it, right? Mm-hmm. You cook. Well, you had to have your stove or oven at a certain temperature to get a finished product. Mm-hmm. Microwaves. Those of you microwavers, you put your frozen death in the microwave, and you set the timer. And when it goes ding, hey, you can get your meal. Managing to a number, right? Financially, we do it or we need to, but we don't necessarily do it. So how do you manage to a number? I have calculators. I got a bunch of calculators. Calculators are like wallets and phones to me. Everywhere I go, I carry a calculator. So think about this. What will retire you from your employee? What will allow you to fire your boss? What will allow you to reduce stress in your life and lifestyle by determining your lifestyle costs and shrinking them down to the simplest form? Life is what you live. Style is how you live it. What are your lifestyle costs? Well, factor in what you have to spend every month in order to maintain the roof over your head. You know, your vehicle costs, your utility costs, your food costs, your rent or lease costs, your insurance costs, things that must be met every single month. Factor it in. Give yourself a nice round figure. If it's $4,235, you need $5,000 a month. That's my point. So let's say you need $5,000, $10,000, or $20 a month, $20,000 a month. Write that figure down. And then look at how you can get it. I'm involved in opportunities. Those opportunities, they have the power to give me the amount of what I need. Why? Because those opportunities, all I need is move 4 packages of one, 3 packages of another, or I just need to get 4 or 5 members to one and 4 or 5 members to the other. Whatever the case is, it's chopping away at my monetary need. And once it's met, the residual from that will continue to keep coming. So I won't have to ever worry about it again. The last thing that Dr. Best taught me, he said that once you get money as an issue out of the way, you begin to concentrate on things that are most important. Folks, I had that once, but what I did was throw out the baby with the bathwater. I did not know the value of what he was sharing fully. Now I got it. Multiple sources of income. The very last thing he said to me in our last conversation, with his son holding the phone to his ear because his arms were too weak and it was too much pain to keep it in his hands. You know what he said? He said, "You want a life where you make so much money, you no longer have any use for it." That's a heck of a goal. All of us can meet it. Folks, every Monday through Friday, we do what's called the Believers Huddle. It's on our Zoom platform. It's on the screen. teambelieve.info. The meeting ID is on the screen along with the password, which is all lowercase. Let's go. Every Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern, the United States time zone. I can't speak for what time it is in other countries. You're just going to have to Google that and match it up yourself. But you're welcome to come. We open the platform with personal development. And then we go into talk about the proverbial wisdoms of the day that are articulated by our dear sister friend, our leader here, Pastor Pamela Dixon. And then we move on to talk about opportunities. We talk about life. We talk about burials. We talk about weddings. We talk about births. We talk about a variety of things because we are get this, unity. And then we go on with the rest of our day and encourage others to do it. And many times we carry it live over cyberspace so you can take advantage of it. Now, Dr. Best taught me about systems. System is not only a word with a meaning, but it's also an acronym. And I want to thank Brother Vincent Muhammad for giving it to me. SYSTEM is system. Save yourself stress, time, energy, and money. So Dr. Best said, hey, never stop the huddle. Got my word on that. And then he said, we get tired, don't we? We eventually sleep. We got to go doing other things. But that's why I always give out CDs, because when we're not working, the CD will. When we're not working, the book you read will. We have a YouTube channel. This YouTube channel, many of you are on it. YouTube.com/the Wealth Minister. This platform gives you all the opportunities that we're currently a part of at Team Believe. You can go check it out, get referral links and all that good stuff. You can check it out. You can look at the trainings that go on there. You can look at the influencers that are on the page and their little short clips that provide a little wisdom. You also have live events that go on there. that I myself will conduct or others will conduct with a live audience. We can answer questions. We can do a bunch of things. We all do it right there. www.youtube.com/@the-wealth-minister. Because life be lifing. You want to be a part of that life. You want to subscribe. You want to like. You want to share. So with that, I hope there was some favor found on the things that we discussed today, and it could lend to greater discussions down the road. But it's my prayer, it's my hope that you found it meaningful, valuable, and something you're willing to go back to the YouTube channel and share with your teams. Did we do all right, everyone? Just unmute, let me know if you're okay with it.
Thank you, Brother Eric. Yes, you did awesome. And all
I
the
want to
things that
thank
you
you.
shared, yes.
I want to thank you.
Thank you so much, my brother.
Yeah. Just know that we are as strong as our weakest link. You build a link of relationship, it'll strengthen. You build the link of relationship, you'll be rewarded with an understanding that you couldn't have gathered on your own. It takes collaboration. Excuse me, it takes cooperation. It takes wanting for you and your brothers and sisters and others what you want for yourself. Now, relationship build is a global movement. If you're not looking to be part of a worldwide global movement of creating the greatest self, then maybe this space is not for you. But those of you who want more out of life and want more for yourselves, take advantage of the opportunity. I want to thank you again for your time and attention. Unmute your mics, love on each other, and I'll see us all on the next live stream. Thank you, everyone.
Excellent information. Thank you, Brother Eric. Thank you, everyone. That shared wonderful, wonderful,
Family.
encouraging
Thank you.
information. May God
Wonderful
always
meeting.
bless you. Take care, everyone.
Nice.
Take care.